guys, welcome to the BMW Vision Neue Klasse, and once again I have with me Stephan Durach. He's in charge of all the cool digital stuff with BMW. We might remember him from the Shanghai show. We talked about iDrive 8.5. We don't have a name for this one yet, right? So we're just going to call it the new iDrive.
The new iDrive, yes.
But I guess I just want you to kind of show me what it is, what it does new compared to what we have today, and maybe point out some of the really cool features.
Okay. If you take a look up at the setup per se, it's a completely different one. As you can see, we have our central information display in a dedicated shape, and we have our panoramic vision, pillar to pillar, a perfect integration of a head-up display, and everybody can see it. You can see it, the co-driver can see it on the back seat. So this is the new canvas where we're going to play our user experience for our customers, as you can see. If you take a look at the screen, for example, it's an evolution, what we are seeing with iDrive 9. So we have our quick select
as well. A quick select, okay.
Yeah, because we think still the same thing is true. Map is really important. You have all the important things you can access from here. Gotcha. And in front of you have our panoramic vision, which certainly you can control with your steering wheel. You have the steering wheel button on the left side, which are still for ADAS features, and on the right side, it's to control the content in your panoramic vision, what you can see. Right in front of you, you see it's the driving information you need. And as you can see, it's really, really reduced. It's reduced to the max, so we only display the most important information for our driver, which is driving relevant.
So you can minimize whatever you see on there, so there's no information overload, basically. That's a big deal today.
Exactly, because there are so many solutions on the market with pillar-to-pillar display, which everybody takes advantage of the real estate of display, and there's definitely happening too much from our perspective. So we display you the right information at the right position at the right point in time. This is the philosophy, and it's still BMW. Hands on the wheels, eyes on the road. It's the most important thing for us.
Gotcha. So now let's take a look at the AC controls, because everybody cares about that. You know that from 8 and 8.5. So I'm curious to see what they look like compared to what we have today.
You look at the Vision today. So
sure. It's not final production.
It's not final production, and we have only a couple of things to feature in here.
Okay.
So what you can see here, you can change the temperature right in here. Well, it's really nice. The color scheme is actually following the temperature, and we're using the complete environment just to give you a feedback right now with the temperature control.
Gotcha.
So we were trying to do an immersive experience, even with the temperature control.
Very, very interesting. And now there's another cool feature that I saw in the video that we did earlier, where you can actually swipe the information from here onto the panoramic vision.
So you have here in your super select, for example, here the telephone information, and just swiped it up there, and you can see all the information is right there. And now you can take really advantage of our panoramic vision, where you can see a different thing just displayed there, and you see the different contacts. And like I said, you can control it right now with your steering wheels, and by swiping here on the steering wheel, you can change between the different contacts and just make a phone call.
Gotcha.
So this concept gives you the possibility to individualize what you're seeing, and we can play around with the idea. You see something here, really important information you want to have you say in your primary vision, to just swipe it up and have it up there, up and running.
And any information can be swiped up, or it's limited to certain things?
Not any, but if we swipe up the information, we optimize them for this panoramic vision setup, because not everything makes sense. You don't want to have long lists or high complex information there, because this is where we are actually displaying important information when you are driving. So not everything, but all the functionality you need, you can swipe up there for sure.
Gotcha. Can you decouple the panoramic vision from the main infotainment system? So let's say there is a car coming in the future that doesn't get a vision display. Can you still have the software stack that's on this one without the panoramic vision?
What you see here is the new concept for BMW.
Okay.
And this is a new concept on the way forward. So you will see this in every car, And the interesting thing is, just on the experience side, we have this sport mode. I just turn on the sport mode, and I think it really shows a little bit the possibility we have in here. The car is now looking like a sports car. It's changing the color scheme and gives you a pretty good feeling what a sports car can look like. I really like this one because it shows you a little bit the possibility. It's just an example, but as you can imagine, with this idea, we can do a lot of crazy things and interesting things for our customer.
Gotcha. And from what I remember, the quick select, it's also display the information that are relevant to you, and the stack actually changes, right? So the most important info moves up into the stack at some point, right?
No, at the point is we pre-configured the stack in the way it is. You can move it at the position you like to. And then if you say, okay, I want to have weather always on top, you can just grab it and put it on top of it. You know?
Just grab it and move it.
That's what you typically see on this side. And the map is always here in the background. And I think that's basically a pretty simple concept, an evolutionary step from ID9 to our next generation, and to a completely revolutionary new head-up display, which opens us a lot of new opportunity. And we're just at the beginning to exploring. We're already driving with cars on the road and testing out what we can do. I'm pretty sure a lot of exciting things I can tell you.
It looks cool,
in the near future. Yeah, I'm happy to do so. But I think it's already, if you take a look at this, it really demonstrates the potential we're having here.
What's the reason for this shape of the screen, not the traditional rectangle, for example? Or
you know, it's two things. We optimize the screen for third-party content. So the rectangle, it's completely reserved if we're using third-party content. It has the most real estate, and the corners we can use for car-specific things. You don't see it in this vision car, but if you see the production vehicle, you can see car-specific things just we can place in the corners, that you have the rectangle in the middle, only dedicated to third-party content. It gives you the optimal overview. And on the other side, we want to have, and this is certainly, you talked with Adrian about this, you want to have an interior which actually shows you the driver orientation. So everything is for the driver. As you can see, the forms actually communicate into each other. I think Adrian can explain this much better than I can do, but this is basically the idea, to have an interior which emphasizes the driver orientation as well.
Any cool features that we can still see, or these are kind of the whole demo? Is there anything that's implemented right now?
You know, I think we hit the most important thing, the configuration. And like I said, this is a vision vehicle. I'm pretty sure next year we can show you a little bit more production here, but it's a couple of exciting things we still have in mind.
Got it. And now, final question, or maybe one of the final questions on the Panoramic Vision. Is it optimized for any driver's height? So for example, I'm quite tall and I can see clearly outside, but can you reduce the size on that on particular vehicles, maybe because they're not as high, or the windscreen is lower?
Certainly we have different concepts, you know, like the X vehicle, which is a little bit higher, and our limousine, which is a little bit lower. But with the seat positioning, and I think we're going to optimize it that you always will be capable of seeing the front hood in front of you, because if you don't see the hood, it's a little bit awkward if you're driving.
No orientation.
For the orientation, exactly. And we experiment a lot with the heights and what is the best optimized way. What you see in a production vehicle, it will be a perfect fit, that it fits your horizontal line and will not be a distraction when you are driving.
Gotcha. What's the software stack on this, or what's the software code base? Is it still Android based?
Yeah, it's Android open source on the base, and we are really carrying over from our current generation to the next one and build everything on top of it. So it's a huge effort, because we certainly have a different starting point. We don't have to start from scratch, and we have a lot of reuse possibilities in there. Navigation, for example, is a carryover. You know, that's exactly what we can do, and we can focus on new features.
Gotcha. Is there something that excites you the most about technology moving forward inside cars? Is there something that you would love to see? Like if they were to pick one feature from a digital perspective, what would be something like, okay, I really want to have that in the car and I wish we could do it?
You know, this one...
It's a tough question, not an easy one. It's very broad.
You know, we spend so much time to go to the next generation of our iDrive, and we are sitting in, it's coming right now to life. That's why I'm actually super excited about this product. However, I think there is still a lot of potential when you think about reliable connectivity and what we can do on the edge and what we can do off-road in the context of artificial intelligence. And we're just exploring a little bit what we can do, where can we put our processing power. So that will be a couple of exciting things. But right now, I'm really happy with this product.
Oh, it looks great. Perfect. So I guess the teaser is we're going to see more next year. With a lot more tangible on the things that we can actually play with. Yeah. So perfect. Well, thank you so much, Stephan. I really appreciate it. Pleasure. And we'll see you next year, I guess.
See you. Thank you.
It's great.